Hi, I'm Kyle, a tired therapist.
And I'm Jackie, also a tired therapist.
And together, we are
Two tired therapists.
Welcome to the pod. Welcome back.
Hi.
Hello. We hope you're doing well.
Yeah.
We have a very exciting episode today.
I know. I'm so excited for this
So
episode.
excited. It's the second episode where we have voluntold, one of our dear friends.
What a great way to put it.
To join us.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm.
And so I'll just jump right into it. I'll
Sure,
just introduce our mystery guest today. Her roots are planted in the past, and though her life is changing fast, who she is who she wants to be. A single mom who works 2 jobs, who loves her kids and never stops. With gentle hands and a heart of a fighter, she's a survivor. It's EK.
I thought you were going to say it's Reba.
It's Reba.
It's a Reba.
No, that was my made-up one. So
Side note, that was a really good show for its time. I'm just going to say.
I don't know why, but that's when I was thinking of doing EK's introduction. And, we did a fake one for Claire and we did a real one.
Yeah.
I was like, that's what I have to do for EK. I have to do.
I was like, single mom? I'm not a single mom.
I know. No, here's
Yeah.
your real introduction.
Okay.
Here's your real introduction. A lead triage clinician, we think, for an evaluation center. EK is a major advocate for mental health services. She is an avid reader with favorites such as Bridget Jones's Diary, Bridget Jones's Baby, the Shopaholic series, and Catcher in the Rye. At least that's what your Facebook said.
That's my favorite book, Catcher in the Rye.
Ooh.
She loves dancing. She's a Taylor Swift fan, as well as silently and sometimes verbally judging others. She has 2 precious little boys whom she loves more than her luggage, which I'm not really sure what that means, but she told me to say it.
I love you more than my luggage. Like, I love my luggage a lot. I'll just go places. Like my handbags.
Oh, handbags. I was thinking like suitcases.
Love you more than my Samsonite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
My rolly suitcase. Mommy loves you.
Her mental health / psychology interests include grief, anxiety, personality disorders, and SMI. She's a soul sister because we like those
Yes,
very
we
similar
do.
together.
That's why we're friends.
Her laugh is contagious, and if you want someone to sugarcoat advice, she's not the one. EK.
I mean, that's pretty accurate.
Pretty accurate.
Pew, pew, pew,
Pretty-
I feel it.
Welcome.
I feel
Yes,
attacked.
Well,
I'm kidding.
welcome to the pod.
Yeah. I love to talk.
Yes, we have EK here, so why don't we start with EK? What's tired? What's going on?
Oh, goodness. What's tired? Winter is tired.
That is tired.
Valentine's Day is tired.
Yes, we are post V-Day.
Yes.
I did buy a candle that said, love stinks, but this candle doesn't.
Oh, I love it.
At the Aldi. It was my favorite
Oh.
purchase. And it actually does smell pretty good.
I
It's
do
got like
love
pop
Aldi.
art on
What's
it.
the
so
scent for it?
It doesn't say.
Oh, okay. Well, long as it
Love
doesn't stink.
So
Wow.
Love it.
I think on a similar kind of V-Day,
Vibe.
but not really, Nick Cannon and his 57 kids that he has. I feel like every time I get on social media, he's had another child.
right.
That or,
or
like, they
or
just
got
ha-
another woman pregnant.
That or like he just had a baby shower and then like somebody else is saying that they're pregnant. So there's
Right.
not even like a span of more than like a few months
Right.
between each one.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on there. What's going on with Nick Cannon? But he's got to stop. He's got
I
to be
really
stopped.
hope that this is, and I assume this is how he's doing it, is he's not like hiding any of this from the others. Like he's not like,
No.
No, I
if
think
he's like polyamorous, like, I don't know, that's
he's just
fine.
the perpetual baby daddy, I think.
Yeah.
Like he just wants to spread his seed.
There was some meme that was like the population in 2015. It was like a picture of Nick Cannon in a wig, and I was like, it's
Yeah, it was like
Not wrong.
it was like what like 18 different
Yeah.
pictures, but it was all him just in
Like in different
different
wigs.
wigs and shirts and stuff.
Amazing.
It's ridiculous.
It is, yeah.
Jackie, what are you tired of?
well, I'm tired of something that has nothing to do with V-Day, so
Sure.
I'll be different.
That's fine. That's
But
fine.
I'm really tired. You know when you go to the bathroom at a public bathroom and then they have the automatic water dispensers and it never goes on for long enough, and I'm really tired of that.
Or it doesn't want it all. Like, I'm
Right.
not invisible.
Right, or you have to like move your hands
To
a
figure out
bunch
where
and
it's
you're
at.
like doing a weird hand dance in the bathroom and
Vogue.
yeah, and
Mhm.
yeah, I don't like that. I'm tired of that.
Yeah.
I'd like for just I mean, I know I can't pee on all the time because that's wasting water, but I mean, why can't it like read what I'm trying
Right.
to do?
Right. It's definitely better than those back in the day when it was like the push. You had to push it, and it would only stay on for about 2
my
seconds.
school faucets when I was growing up. The push
And
down.
the water pressure was terrible.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Hard pass.
Well, EK, we want to know all about EK. So we're gonna start out with, how did we meet EK? What's kind of our Jackie and I's first impressions?
It's a good thing I've been drinking.
Jackie was like, "Who's this bitch that's coming up here?" Like, I don't even know.
Would you like me to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
Okay, great. So I met EK, or Erin, as I might call her, because that's her first name.
That's her real name. Yeah, sure.
So we met. So when I got hired at the former place of, so we met when I got hired, and then you were like kind of part-timing in a weird way because you were still working at another office, but you were going to come up and work in this department. And so when I was brand new, our boss at the time was like, "Oh, Erin's going to come up from this office. She's going to come up like Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays," I think it was at the time. But nothing was happening. Nothing was open.
The department wasn't created.
Right. It was just
really.
it was the two of us. And then we had to move a lot of furniture around because nothing was set up. Sure. So very quickly we had to like get to know each other, and then we had to move a bunch of furniture, and then we couldn't like damage the walls or the floor, which was sounds easier than it was at the time. And so we would spend like 8 hours a day just sitting in an office being like, wow. And so I was like, "Do you like the office?" And she was like, "Yes." And I was like, "Okay, here we go."
Fast friends right there.
Yep.
That's where it
and then it was just the two of us until we started hiring more people. And then it was just, I don't know, you and I were just always really tight from the beginning. It was just, I don't know, we clicked. So yeah, that's how we met.
Well, this was, back in the day when I worked in the department you're discussing for the short time when I was pimped out by my boss.
What a nice way to put it.
Thanks, Karen. It was during those morning huddles that we had to do at that ungodly hour. And I remember one of the first ones, this was because we each had kind of like a triage person, right? And so I didn't have EK, but I remember that morning she was telling her person, she's like, "Oh, you're going to see so-and-so. They have this. And then this other person, they have this." Like, and I was like, who does she think she is? Like telling the clinician who, like, she hasn't even seen this person, like what diagnoses they have. But I was like, whatever, like it seems fine. But then one day my triage person was out, so EK was covering, and she had sent a list of my people to me. And after doing all the intakes, I was like, "Oh wow, these are all right." So then after that, I was like, "Well, EK said it, so that must be what it is." So there
was a common theme of that. Like if we read a chart of somebody and we were like, something's funky, we were like, "Erin, you're going to triage the person."
Well, they probably it's some personality disorder, but also they have been in the ER 17 times for
whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah, people would. You ended up being the one who the problem clients. You got most of those problem clients, and then you'd be like, "Yeah, it's this, and this." And then
EK is a clinician without a license.
Yes,
initially.
Yes, I got it at a Cracker Jack box, but they say that doesn't count. So
I would trust her clinical judgment over some other people in my life who do have a license.
I've worked with people who have very high licenses, like a doctor or a medical doctor that I would trust less than Erin.
Oh, you guys.
So
just saying.
My
just put it out
headphones are gonna fall off. It's getting big.
EK, what about us? What were your first impressions of us?
Wow. Well, like Jackie said, I was voluntold that my job was going to this new department, and to say I had some reservations is maybe an understatement. Sure. I cried a lot about it, but it ended up being really cool. So I meet Jackie, and she's like, I have a meeting in an hour, and I've just been sitting here, and I was like, cool. Neat.
Sounds about right.
Glad I'm here and not doing my job. Cool. Then we started talking about the office, and we went for walks because it was summer.
Yeah,
sunshine.
Right.
We walked a lot.
Yes, we did.
It was good times. And then we moved a lot of furniture, including a water cooler. And we were like, nothing to see.
Oh,
There's nothing to see here. Just moving a water cooler down the hallway.
That's right. I forgot about that water cooler. Yeah, because people in that office had used our area as like kind of like a makeshift storage / like dumping ground
where all the brass lamps went to die.
Yeah, like just there was that. Remember that board that had like a bullet hole in it that we like put in the trash, and people were like
one of
throw this
world's
out.
first dry erase boards. Like, I'm not kidding. It
Well,
was bad.
Right. And it was fun.
And it had a hole in it in the middle
right. And
of the dry erase
we ended up
surface.
getting called to do moves for that office fairly often after
I
that.
still get calls. To
Right.
move stuff,
Yes. Yeah. And
just the JB part of the JB moving company
Right.
is not JB
right.
anymore.
Right.
So to
Right.
find other people.
Right. It was
Throwing
yes.
so many things into that dumpster.
Yes.
It's fine. It's fine.
Oh my.
And yeah, then we just during the lovely pandemic, also Jackie and I had a pretty mean instant messaging back and forth during huddles and
Sure.
maintaining sanity
Correct. Right.
of each
Right.
other
Correct.
while the
Right.
team just imploded or had like 25 people instead of 6. It
Uh-huh.
was cool. And yeah, then you popped onto the screen, just a little like
Mm-hmm.
ray of sunshine, and like
Well,
I'm just here to like see people. Like I
Yeah.
don't know, just tell me what to do.
Literally.
I'll do
Yeah.
it. And I was like, he's kind of funny. And then we met you in person. We saw you had legs and like we're in person, and you were hilarious.
Oh, that's right. We did meet him in person at that wedding shower.
the wedding shower.
We won't speak of the wedding, but
Right.
Right.
The wedding shower.
Outside, the first time we'd seen each other
That's
live
right.
and in person.
Yes.
Yeah.
For
yes.
months or
outside.
Ever. Yeah.
ever outside, socially distanced.
Still shocking that none of us got COVID. Like that was really
Right.
safe and not terrible.
We did get lots of mosquito bites and maybe
Yeah.
some chigger bites from some
Definitely.
that was
but
the worst.
Yeah, definitely not against policy at that time.
No.
Yeah,
yeah, no, we were outside.
we were
so.
fine.
Sure.
But I was like, this one, he's funny. I like him. We can get along just fine.
That was before my spirit was broken by
Right.
Same.
the world.
Right.
Same. That's what I thought. We were
Yeah.
like, we'll be back in the office by the end of 2020.
Yeah, it'd be fine.
That's fine.
That's
We're
fine.
just I'm
No,
just
just
not-
kidding. It was like a year later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, to continue to get to know our little EK, we've got a nice little lightning round. So just kind of quick fire so we can get to know you.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay. The first one, fill in the blank. Taylor Swift is?
Amazing.
Kyle's face.
Oh, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me.
Yeah.
It's a good bop. She's
Sure.
got some bops.
First celebrity crush.
Judd Nelson.
Ooh.
Oh.
Good choice.
That's good. Okay.
Like Brat Pack because I'm
Yeah.
old. You guys
Well.
weren't born yet when I was crushing on him, like St. Elmo's Fire style. Just saying. Breakfast Club.
Put it out there.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Would you rather cuddle a baby panda or a baby penguin?
Oh wow.
And that's a good one, right?
That is a good one.
Yeah.
Penguin.
How many cups of coffee do you drink per day?
4 big ones.
Do you like the smell of gasoline?
No.
They're
What
just
kind of
random-
questions
they're just
do you
random
think
questions.
smell
Get to know
gasoline?
her. If there's a spider in your house, do you kill it or set it free?
Kill it.
Do you set it free?
I do.
Oh,
There's
I-
violence.
nice.
No
Okay.
violence in my home.
Ain't nobody got time
I don't
for
need ghost spiders. What do you? I don't need that.
I don't need spiders in general.
Most embarrassing store you might be seen shopping at.
Oh.
Most embarrassing store?
Mhm.
Susan? That's a tough one. Chick-fil-A.
Oh, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Their frozen lemonade is just tasty.
Mm.
And I talk about how much I love the gays when I eat their stuff, but I try not to eat it very often.
That's,
Yeah. Mm-mm.
What temperature do you like the thermostat at?
68.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
That's what I like too. If you could push a button and make everyone in the world 7% happier, but it would also place a worldwide ban on all hair styling products, would you push it?
Yes.
And finally, last Halloween costume.
Oh my.
I mean, I kind of did a bastardized like Halloween Minnie Mouse a couple years ago, but the last time I really dressed up was a Spartan cheerleader from Saturday Night Live.
Okay,
Oh,
you
I
don't
love
you don't
that.
dress up with the kids?
No, I dressed them up matching,
Oh,
and then I
okay.
just like I have
Just
like
hang
an
out.
orange scarf, and I did get a new one with skeleton like skulls on it, so
Oh,
Nice.
a little darker.
Fancy.
I used to have a
Yes.
little jeweled spider fascinator, but I lost it somewhere. I don't know where it is. Like a little headband with a little
Mhm.
tool and a jeweled spider,
Oh,
but it is
MIA.
somewhere in my storage room, like lots of things.
okay.
Mm.
We also had you prepare a little playlist, little EK's playlist, to describe who you are. So I will go through them, and you can tell us why each one. So the first one, "You've Got a Friend" by Carole King.
Oh, okay.
Is that like the "You've Got a Friend in Me"? Or is that
No.
Okay.
When you call,
Yeah.
Also, James Taylor sings it too, so it's like James Taylor Carole King. But I mean, I think I'm a good friend. I love my friends; they're very important to me. So I think you do have a friend in me.
Okay. Good Old Days by Macklemore.
Oh,
It's a good tune. I mean, I like the good old days, and sometimes you don't realize what you have until it's gone, and then you're like, oh, wish somebody would have told me that was going to be
right.
the good times.
Well, yeah, wish I would have known it was the good old days when we were in them.
Right.
right.
So, office quote.
Jackie.
That's what she said.
Yep.
I Drink Wine by Adele. I think that one is.
Oh, I don't know that I've heard the song of hers.
Oh, it's a
come
good
on,
one.
Jackie.
It's a good one. I mean, she has a line in there like, I used to soak up something, but now I only soak up wine. It's kind of just, it's kind of my
been there.
life choices.
Heyo.
Right? Hey. Yeah, I mean, I love Adele. So
She's, iconic. Where Does the Good Go by Tegan and Sarah.
that's a good one. That's the Dance It Out tune from Grey's Anatomy. Like, they dance it out.
Oh, okay.
And
I like Tegan and Sarah.
It is.
where do you go when the broken heart and toe? It's just a good little lighthearted, and it just, I mean, I love Grey's Anatomy. So
Sure.
Shout out.
Shonda
Rhimes.
Hey, Shonda. Friend of the pod.
Sponsor us.
Sponsor us, please.
Right.
We've talked about Grey's Anatomy several times.
Right. So, yeah, I just like it. It's a little, just makes you feel good.
And then lastly, Seasons of Love, the cast of Rent. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I grew up in a Broadway house, and I love musicals, but I love that one. And it's another one, like, it's a year, and think of it in seconds or minutes, like, sometimes.
I
It's a
love
lot.
Rent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
Fun fact: I'm. You guys both know this because you know me, but I'm not a crier. But that was the very first movie I ever cried at was Rent. Because I'd never
it's a
seen the
lot.
Broadway show.
Right.
I didn't know of it.
Right.
And so my brother also likes Broadway, and he
Right.
was like, "Oh, you should listen to this." And then when the movie came out, I watched it and I cried. And I was
Right.
like,
Yeah.
Well,
I was
because
like,
when you listen to like Seasons of Love, you're like, oh, that's kind of like,
"Oh, you're like, yeah,
like this is really
And then you know-
uplifting. And then
then
you
you
watch
find
it
out
and you're
why.
like, wow, everyone's dead.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're like,
Wow.
okay,
I
great.
will say, looking back at it in 2023, I did see the stage version of it when I was in college. It doesn't age well, but it does kind of show where
Yeah.
things were.
Things were,
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, I mean, there's lots of other things with that song, but I don't want to cry on this podcast, so
Right,
we'll
well,
just keep it lighthearted.
We don't do that here.
We don't do that here.
I did
We don't do
teach my
feelings.
children that, like, they listen to it, and
Aw.
Riley got something right on, like, Roblox or something. He's like, Mommy, I know how long a year was because it's 525,600 minutes. And I was like, sweet boy, you do listen to me.
Yeah.
See,
Love it.
teaching
Yeah.
the kids.
Teaching the children.
Just one Broadway musical at a time.
Yep. Love it.
Also love the Dear Evan Hansen, but
Preach.
Yeah.
Preach.
it's a dark one.
It is a dark one.
Well, EK, we invited you here to be our, not just our MC, but also a conversationalist with us because we are doing a little Q&A episode.
All right.
So you have a list of some questions that our wonderful viewers have sent in that they would like to ask or have us talk about. But we also found some just kind of like general therapy questions on a subreddit about therapy that we thought looked interesting and that we could all chit-chat about. So, EK, why don't you take us away?
Okay. Thoughts on my potential senior thesis topic of drug addiction and trauma.
Oh.
It's a
Okay.
serious
Oh my.
one for the start. I guess I could have picked a lighter one. We could ease into that.
Well,
Oh, like what should their thesis be?
I think just the topic of drug addiction and trauma. Just kind of like do those go
Oh.
together? Like,
Oh, sure.
yeah.
I mean, you don't always have to have that, but I would say working in corrections was a lot of them had trauma and a lot of them had drug addiction or like some type of substance use disorder. So like they go together very.
Yeah.
But it doesn't always mean if you have trauma you're gonna get
No.
into substance use. But it's pretty common, I would say.
It would be interesting to see the actual prevalence because if I remember correctly, maybe I'm making this up, I think the higher prevalence rates for drug use is bipolar disorder.
Yeah, I think it is.
And ADHD.
Yeah. Like medicating with, say, like cocaine or
Yeah.
something else that makes.
Right?
I could see.
Sure.
And I feel like trauma's not as big of one. Not that it's not a big one, but
I think it would be interesting to
I feel
study
like it's not as common as you might think.
I think it would be really interesting to study or like do a study on like people who had like early childhood trauma, like before 10, and like their substance use rates, because I don't know that that's ever been like something that's, I'm sure it has, but
or you have a traumatic event,
right,
and then you use more to deal with that trauma instead of like therapizing it.
Yeah,
I don't know. That more research needed.
Yeah.
Definitely do the research on the prevalence on that one.
Yeah.
This next one's a little bit more lighthearted. Thoughts about... Wait, no, it's not. We'll skip that. We'll come back. Is it okay to tell my therapist I have sexual thoughts about them? We're going to skip back to the one that's more serious. That's a question on here. I did not make it up.
I think the answer is super dependent on the context of the thoughts, to be totally honest.
Yeah, because that could be...
Because I'm thinking if you have a sex dream about your therapist one time, I don't want to know about that. Goodbye. Bye.
Yeah.
But if you are like can't do therapy
right.
because you want to bang your therapist, that's you probably need to say something. Now you probably will get terminated or referred to somebody else. It will not go the way you think it'll go. And also therapists cannot date or have sexual relations, depending on your licensure level. But I'm just going to make a blanket statement to say that you shouldn't have sex with your clients ever in your life.
It's not that you can't. It is highly unethical.
It's strongly
disregarded.
Against it.
Please don't do it. It happens though.
It does happen.
Absolutely happens.
Well, and I hate to bring up corrections, but I mean that is a place where people were like, "You hot, let's bang," and I'm like, "Oh, that's a hard pass for me, thanks."
We don't do that here. So sorry.
Right. So I think it depends on the context. But if you cannot concentrate in your therapy sessions because you want to bang your therapist, then you probably should say something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I think if it's interrupting your therapy.
Yeah, that's a hard.
I've never even had a client that I thought was hot. I don't. I mean, not that I thought they're all ugly, but like I've never had to deal with that.
No, it's very, it's people are, it's hard because it's like, it's one of those things that when you're in school, they're like, this is a very human thing. Like you're going to have clients that are good looking and stuff like that. I don't, you're like, no. Counselors is like, absolutely not. It's hard because when I worked in the prison, there were some of them were not bad looking guys at all.
Sure.
But
bad boys.
What you gonna do?
Well, we feel like completely tattooed faces and necks, and one of the tattoos is a line, right? And it says "cut here" or "trust none." I mean, you do what you gotta do, but
do what you gotta do. Yeah.
If you get a tattoo above the neck, like you're pretty much giving up on like most occupations or goals in life.
Sure.
It's kind of like when you just go with elastic cuff sweatpants. You've just given up.
Right.
It's.
Like I said, my favorite face one ever was the it was supposed to say trust no one, but the no one was not spaced properly.
Oh, so it was like none.
One eyebrow. It was the eyebrow tattoo. It wasn't even like on their face. So one eyebrow said trust, and the other one said no one.
Nude.
But it said trust none.
Trust none.
And so when I met him, this could have gone really poorly for me, but I was like, you have a hard time trusting people, don't you? And he laughed so hard. And I was like, I don't know how I would know that.
It'd been more funny if he'd been like, how do you know? Like, that's what I do.
Right.
I'm hearing you say you trust no one.
Right.
Yeah.
You say you trust none.
None. No, I don't know. I've never wanted to date a client. That's never been a thing. But there are stories. Some of those stories are wild.
Oh, yeah.
No, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, thank you. Yeah.
Pass.
So yeah, I think it's okay to tell them, but know that you may be referred out.
You might be terminated.
So, bye.
Bye. All right. Next question: how much of what I say to my therapist becomes known to my parents?
Oh.
Well, it depends.
As I say, it really depends on
your age,
and the state that you're in, because some states have different laws.
Right.
You want to go since you actually do real therapy with teenagers, and I can talk about what I would do.
Yeah, so it does depend on the state. So age of consent, depending on that, if you are below that, typically it's 18. Some it's 16. But if you are under that age, your parents technically have a legal right to know what you discuss in therapy.
Yeah.
Now, what I do when I'm working with teenagers, I sit everybody down in the first session and I say, hey, here's what the law says, but here's reality. If you as the parents come and ask me after every session what your kid said, your kid's not going to open up to me.
Yeah.
Because they need to have that space. So if there's something scary or dangerous or something we need your help with, we will for sure be telling you. Other than that, let's respect this.
Yeah.
It gets a little I think, hairier when you have like with hospital systems and you have like the apps and the medical records
Yeah.
and stuff. Those typically, I think, go hospital to hospital based on that policy. So I know like some hospitals will say like even if you're an adult at 18 at the age of 16, you get to say if your parents have access to your
medical records,
like medical records through that app or not. But it just kind of depends. So, but then once you're an adult,
yeah,
you do it how you
once you
want. Your
turn
parents
18,
don't
even
know
if
shit.
even if you're still in high school, it's,
Right.
They
it's
turn
done.
it off like the day you
The
turn 18.
day.
Yeah.
The day.
Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
I would say it's the same thing. I would say it really depends on the state that you're in,
Mhm.
and then I don't know if it's a question of risk or like some
Right.
serious substance use, then I think you can kind of go around and tell the parents. But if it's like I have a crush on my teacher or something, like I wouldn't
Right.
be like calling the parents
No.
being like your kid has a crush on the
Right.
teacher. But
Right.
yeah, it
Right.
really depends.
Absolutely.
As a parent, I would want to know if any of those
Yeah.
scary things were happening.
Of course.
Or if they were like spilling my tea. But,
Right.
you know,
Right.
hopefully
Right.
that wouldn't be the
Well,
case.
for sure.
but-
Yeah, for sure. If they were unsafe, that would be an automatic. Like,
Yeah, that's
whether
an
you want
automatic.
me to tell your parents or not,
It's happening.
we're gonna have to do it. So
Right.
either you work with me on how you want to do this, or
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it the way I have to do it.
Yeah.
No, I respect that. All right, back to a serious question. Well, they're all serious, but thoughts about medical assistance in dying patients with BPD.
I'm a borderline or bipolar.
It just says BPD. Thoughts about medical assistance in dying for patients with BPD.
I always
Like-
think BPD is borderline personality disorder, but some
Yeah,
people
I
use it
think
as
it
bipolar
is.
disorder. Some people use it as
I
abbreviation.
wonder, is that like
For dying, like
if you're
medical
suicidal,
assisted suicide?
like if you want to
I think so.
end your life, is
Yeah.
that even legal?
Yeah, it's not. It's not. It's in a couple of states and like other countries. It's not 100% legal in the
Oh.
United States.
Like Kevorkian, like
Yeah, I think it's in Washington. Although it's
Interesting.
on the Pacific Northwest. I think Washington is the only state.
yeah.
But it's a process. I learned about it in college. You have to see like 3 psychologists.
Wow.
They have to completely do evaluations and clear you to get it. And then I think you have to have a note from a medical doctor saying like you have an illness that will like kill you, and like they're approving, essentially not approving, but they're consenting that if like you want to do this, like that you will die from this whatever
What's
disease
the
you have.
criteria to like for a psychologist to?
I mean, I think it's a PsyD or a PhD.
Well, I mean, like, what are they looking for to say like yes, you should do this versus you shouldn't?
I think it's terminal illness. I think it's like I want to do this and this is why. I mean, I think it's just you have to do like an interview. I mean,
Oh.
it's
Probably.
not like
Well, I've heard it for terminal illness. I took this as like you have BPD and you're suicidal, and you.
if that's what the question is, then that's not going to happen. But if you're medically assisted suicide, it's not 100% legal in the United States,
Right.
but you can do it.
You can euthanize pets, but not humans.
Well,
It's weird.
That is an interesting, like, why do we stop people from taking their life?
I don't know, because I feel like if you're going to die from a disease and it's going to be a painful end for you and you want to, and you're
Right.
not saying I'm not going to do it tomorrow, but if you're like, that's
Or
your
even
choice.
like, I don't want my family to watch me actively
Yeah.
die.
Right.
That's miserable.
yeah.
Like, I just want to.
What's that
I just want to go
movie?
take some pills and fall asleep, and they go, "Oh, she's gone."
Yeah.
That
We're
movie
sad.
that I'm thinking of. It's the movie with what's her name, Amelia Clark,
that
and that
movie.
guy, hmm
The one with what's her
Oh.
name?
and that guy,
They do
where
that thing.
he's like paralyzed. He was like a big
Yeah.
wig person. He got paralyzed in an accident, and then he needs like a helper, and she like applies to be his helper. I cannot remember for the life. It's a very good movie. It's very sweet.
Unfamiliar.
It was the guy from
Me Before You, maybe is what it's called. I don't know. She's like his like helper. She's not like a
Yeah,
nurse, but
it's
she's
the
like his
guy
helper.
who was in the Danish
Finn,
girl.
he's Finn in Hunger Games. Finn,
Oh, maybe I don't know.
whatever
what
his
you're
name
talking
is.
about. Wow.
He's very beautiful. I forget what his name is
Well,
though. Shoot, I can't believe I can't remember.
oh my
I think it's
gosh.
Me Before You. I'm pretty sure that's the name
I'll
of the
look
movie.
it up.
So he is paralyzed. He doesn't want to live. He's like in his 20s, and then he decides to do medically
Yes,
assisted
you are correct,
suicide.
yes.
And what's that guy's name?
Sam Claflin.
Yes, that's his
Oh,
name.
Claflin.
I was gonna say it starts with, yeah. And so they do a bunch of trips, and she takes him, and they go to Sweden maybe, and he like chooses to like
I think it is legal there.
Yeah,
do
it's
that.
legal, and he does everything he's supposed to, and like everybody's mad at him, and they fall in love.
Yeah.
It's a great movie. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
And then he dies, and she's like,
Yeah.
I won't spoil the end of it, but he does die in the movie.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Spoilings.
Yes, spoilers.
It's about
Yeah.
this is
So,
a suicide and he dies.
I don't have an issue with it. I think if you do what you're supposed to, and if you meet with
Yeah.
all the people and you get all their stuff, I don't
Right.
do whatever you gotta do.
Yeah.
But as far as like mental health,
I don't think that's a smart choice, but that's
not
just me.
gonna happen. I don't think that'll ever be a thing.
Right, because you can treat mental illness.
Right.
It's weird.
Right. Crazy.
Happy words.
Can you believe?
I can't believe that. I've never heard that.
All right. This one says thoughts about Danny. She's my therapist. That's all the question says.
Oh, it must be Danny that I work with. She's a flop. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know Danny, so I can't.
I don't.
No, Danny's great. She's one of my work wives. I'm in a polyamorous relationship at work with 2 work wives. She's one of my work wives and my neighbor. So, like at work, not in real life. I'm guessing that's who they're talking about.
Oh, okay. Is it okay to have 2 therapists at the same time?
No.
Oh, I would push back. I think if one is doing something that's a specialty, so like in our office, we will refer for like EMDR. So like you'll have a main therapist and then like someone will be doing EMDR only.
I'm taking this question as I'm seeing a therapist on Mondays and I see another one on Tuesdays.
No, you shouldn't do that. No, you shouldn't do that. No, you shouldn't do that. But you can. I think you can have different treatments.
It really,
and things.
I hate to say this, it also very much depends on your insurance. Like if you're doing a group or like an intensive outpatient program or a partial, like that's fine because you may have like a therapist in one of those programs. But you really should not. Right. You shouldn't have your therapist on Monday and then Tuesday.
No.
And your insurance will not pay for it, and you will pay lots of money out of pocket to do that.
Yeah. No,
So,
you shouldn't have.
I know. Yeah, I remember we had somebody come through.
One for grief and one for anxiety and one for.
No, that definitely because you're going to probably have people have different like orientations, and so they're going to. Yeah. They might not necessarily tell you things that are not true, but like one will say like here's how you should think about this, and then someone will say you should think about this, and they might not quite go together and be more confusing.
Conflicting information.
Right. So I think only if there's a specialized treatment.
Yeah.
Not if it's just like, oh, I'm just seeing which one's better.
Yeah.
No, don't do that.
Yes.
Can't do that.
All right. This is our last question. And it's from our number 1 fan, Greg.
Oh, Greg.
Hey, what's up with flop on angels on Christmas tree style? Canceled.
Oh, so rude.
Wow. Greg, come on.
Ouch.
Wow. Well,
got some aloe for that burn?
I left it at home because I thought I redeemed myself, but I haven't.
I will say it was a topic of conversation when I saw Greg not that long ago. He was like, angels on Christmas trees. I don't get it.
Greg, I'm so sorry this affected your life so significantly. Oh, no. I'm sorry. They're just, not for me. You flopped it too. Why didn't he say anything to you?
Because I'm his daughter-in-law, so
I'm more a fan of stars.
I think stars look better. I don't mind angels. It's what I grew up with, so I'm fine with it, but I think stars look better.
I'm also a big fan of a giant bow that just trails down your tree.
I've seen pictures of that, and I do think that is pretty.
Get behind that.
Because I bought a 9-foot tree and I have 10-foot ceilings, but then the stand made it so tall,
oopsies,
we couldn't get the star on there, so we had to go with the bow. But it looked really cute.
I love that. Resourceful.
And you weren't like going to cut the top of it off.
I was like,
I'd have been like, "Where's the knife? Where's the saw?"
It was already a pencil tree. It would have looked a little funny with no top.
Well,
but
we would have made it work.
Well,
now I'd have been humbled. We should probably take a break so I could go put a little.
Okay.
Do you have any aloe here, Jackie?
Got some aloe for you.
We'll take a little break. We'll be right back. And welcome back.
We're back.
Hi.
Back with our dearest friend EK for a couple more little questions, little nuggets, nuggets of wisdom to round you out.
Right, this is a good one. How do I encourage my insert person, mom, dad, boyfriend, girlfriend, etc., to go to therapy?
Well.
Well,
I think the answer is very dependent on, one, your relationship with that person, two, why they need therapy, and three, depends on how you bring it up.
yes.
I think if it's somebody you have a good relationship with or that you're close to, I think it's probably easier said than done, but you can't make them go to therapy. And
No.
therapy won't do much for them if they don't
No.
want to go.
Right.
Personally, you know.
Yeah, therapy is one of those things that the more you put in, the more you get out. Kind of
Yes.
thing.
Yeah.
So if someone's forced to go, not probably
yeah.
going to get a lot out of it.
And having worked with people who are involuntarily in treatment, I will say it doesn't go very well.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you talk to them and you kind of don't like accuse them or be like, you're sad and it's annoying,
Yeah.
or like you're bonkers and I can't talk to you anymore,
Right.
like versus like, hey, like I've noticed that you insert like behavior or thing that you've noticed and maybe talk it out, it might go better. But you're not gonna be able to make them
Right.
go to therapy at all.
Right. No, I think it's I always say, like, make it about you.
Yeah.
In that, right, like if your like husband is screaming all the time or drinking too much or something, you can say like, okay, well, like I feel really unsafe at home, or I feel however it affects you.
Yeah.
Because that is going to keep them hopefully from getting defensive and then it becoming an argument.
Yeah.
And hopefully a conversation. Not always, not foolproof, but that can sometimes help. But yeah, that's a hard one.
Yeah, I don't. If it goes well, let us know.
Let us
But
know.
I don't know that it's going
but...
to. If you really have to make somebody go, they're not going to go.
Yeah,
it's not going to go well.
You're voluntold.
Yeah.
Doesn't always work out.
Not good.
Yeah,
not good. All right. What happens if a therapist can't help me?
I'll say the outcome should be the same, but it's the steps to the outcome.
I guess I was thinking in my head it was more of like, what if therapy's not effective? And I was thinking like,
well, you can answer for that way too. I'm just thinking if like you go to a therapist and they're like, oh, I don't treat, if they diagnose you with anxiety and they don't, treat anxiety, that's different.
Of course. Or like sometimes you just don't click with, you're not going to click with every therapist, and you have to make sure that you do. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to like them, but you do have to like trust them and feel like they can help you. So if that could be a problem. I was thinking like you kind of have to ask yourself like, I don't know how to say this without sounding terrible. But, like, am I trying? Like, am I putting in the right effort?
Yeah.
Like, am I being open? Am I taking all the steps I need to in therapy? Because there are certain diagnoses that don't always do well in therapy. Well,
we won't name names.
We won't name names, but there may or may not be a trilogy from this podcast that we've talked about. But that's weird. It's so weird. So that was kind of what my brain went to at first. But some of those other things of like maybe they don't treat that, but hopefully the therapist will be like, oh, I don't treat this. I'm not going to try.
If you see somebody for an intake and they diagnose you with something that they don't treat, they should give you referrals for other places. But they'll tell you up front. It won't be like you won't show up for like 4 sessions, or potentially like you're really not supposed to treat people that you don't have the competence to treat. So like that should never be an issue. But it also, if along the same line, if it's a therapist you're working with and you're just like, you don't feel like you're getting anything out of it and you're putting in the work, I mean, you can just tell them like, I don't feel like this is working. I mean, I will say probably 95% of therapists will be totally fine with that conversation and won't take it personally. Yeah. There are people who unfortunately take it personally, and I've read stories on the internet and I'm like, wow, it's really not that deep. But you're trained not to take it personally. They should. I don't care.
I don't either.
There's clients that you do and don't mesh with. I mean, you know it as a therapist.
I would say chances are we know before you do.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, so
makes sense.
To each his own.
The last question says non-problematic gifts for a therapist.
Oh.
So like, should you take gifts from your clients?
Well,
I have feelings.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, please.
Oh, I don't like it. I don't like it. No. You're really, I don't know. I learned since when I worked in corrections that my boundaries are much different than a lot of other people's.
That's true.
I would never accept anything from a client beyond maybe a card.
Right. That's
so like if a client made me something, I would take it, but it wouldn't be something I would bring home. It would be something that I would keep in an office.
Sure.
Yeah. But I don't know.
Well, there's, we have those good old ethical codes that tell us, and I think some are different. We have the same, Jackie
you and I
have
have
the
the
same
same,
licensure,
yeah.
and I think ours says like anything that's like
25
25
or
and below
less,
is
yeah.
fine. But like, if they're getting you like a new car or something, like don't do that, which probably be like, hell yeah. But
I can't see you anymore.
I can't see.
Right. And this is
now
our
we're
last
just
session.
now we're just besties. Sorry.
Yeah.
But I usually with any termination sessions that I get to do, like people who have like are graduating from therapy,
Yeah.
we usually do a token exchange where it has to represent our time together. But it has to be like
that's
something.
nice.
It has to be like
That's
something
therapeutic.
small. It can't be anything like. I try to encourage them to like either make it or just go to like Goodwill. Like don't
Yeah.
buy anything super
Well,
expensive.
the intention behind the gift.
Right.
It's like, thank you for helping, or this was, you helped me do this, and it's
Right.
not like, oh, I like you, and here's
Right.
a bottle of wine because you helped me with this.
Right.
Like,
No.
Oh.
No. We don't do that.
Nah.
Don't buy your
Yeah.
therapist alcohol. Don't do that.
No.
Yeah.
don't do that
Do
here.
it.
And in the prison, I would, if they drew me something or colored something,
Yeah.
I would take that. That's the
Yeah.
only thing I would take, but I wouldn't take
Mm-hmm.
if they made me, because some of them could make really cool stuff with like paper, and
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't accept that.
I had a client write me a song once, and he was so excited to sing it to me,
Was
or a
it-
poem or something.
Was it nice?
It was actually really nice. He was
Mm-hmm.
bipolar, and when he
Aw.
would get a little hypomanic, he would write songs or do things,
Sure.
and it was really precious. And I was like, I was like, thank you so much, like, because he would get he was really sensitive. He would get really offended if you were like, no, I can't accept this. So I was just like, buddy, thank you so much. Like, I appreciate
That's a
that.
beautiful
I will
song.
treasure it. It's beautiful. It's the best song I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And it was really sweet.
Should be on the radio.
I mean,
Right, we should put it on the radio.
I did have a client who wrote songs also, and they were not good. And he gave me a CD, and he wanted me to like promote it and like tell my friends about
Oh,
it.
no.
We
And
don't. No.
It
don't do
was
Bad.
bad. I will tell you all one of the songs off air because I don't want, if anyone else listens to this and knows that person, but whoa.
that. Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, wow. Yeah, I bet you're going to like get
Yeah.
lots of deals with this
Right.
one, man. That's, whoa.
Oh,
No,
I do
sorry,
have a song
I can't tell my
story
friends
too, but-
because confidentiality. So
Oh, yeah.
sorry.
Oh, confidentiality.
So sorry. Ugh.
Yeah, I have a song. I do have a song story. I had a client in the prison. I came in for a session, and he was somewhere on that line of serious mental illness and personality disorder. I personally am of the mind that he had way more personality than he did SMI, but that's neither here nor there. So he told me that he wanted to sing me a song. And I was like, okay, fine. Like I was having a day. I was like, fine. I normally would never have let him do this, but I was like, all right, whatever. I'm like, at least it's going to be entertaining. And I honestly do not remember 95% of the song, but I do remember the last line, which was, he's like, Miss, you got a hot ass butt. And and then when he was done, he got on one knee and he said, will you marry me?
Oh my
and
God.
I wordlessly got up and left the room.
And said,
Didn't
that's
say
enough
anything.
of that.
And as soon as I shut the door, my back was to him. I laughed so hard, and they said, what just happened? I said, he just said something about my hot ass butt. And
I love
proposed
that
to
he
me.
said hot ass, but then
Hot ass butt.
Right.
Hot ass
Hot
butt.
ass butt.
You and something about Miss you and your hot ass butt. I don't remember any other parts of the song.
What? You don't need to.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
that's
it.
just
Yes.
That's it.
That's my only.
That's the title
song.
of the
Yeah.
song.
The title, yeah.
Miss and her hot ass butt.
Yeah. I love it.
It was the best.
There you go.
I needed it that day. And then a couple weeks later, he told me I was so fat I must be pregnant. So that was really just the balance of all of that.
You just never know when you
And
fall,
I
where you
wasn't.
fall.
And that's mental illness.
You're right.
folks.
Right, and that's the
exactly-
personality disorder.
That's right.
Yep.
You just never are sure where you're at.
No.
Mhm.
Like
No.
that middle name. You just,
Yep.
You
just
I know
don't
it's
what
there.
It is.
I know it's there, but I don't know what it is.
Don't know what it is. Yep. Mhm. Yeah.
So yeah, get a gift like that for your therapist about their hot ass butt. There you go.
That's funny. Well,
yeah.
There you go.
That's all of the questions I have.
Okay.
Ooh.
Well, we can round out our wonderful little time with some more would you rather. We've been on a nice
Yeah. a little
would you
kick.
rather kick. So I tried to do kind of, they're probably really deep, which
Uh-oh.
is probably too much after all the questions, but we'll see how we do. So would you rather have everyone you know be able to read your thoughts
Oh.
or for everyone you know to have access to your internet history?
Internet history.
Internet history.
Internet history.
I have to go read my thoughts.
No.
Because, oh,
No, I think a lot of things I don't say.
Yeah. Same.
I've searched for a lot of things that I don't want anybody to know. I
that's
say a lot of
also
my
fair.
thoughts. I
That's
say a
also
lot of
fair.
my thoughts, but I've searched for some rotten things.
Oh no.
Okay? Look, I am part of the LGBTQ plus community. We are very rotten, and I've searched for some things
Oh
that I
my
would like to take to my
Okay.
grave. Thank
Okay,
you
well,
very
that's
much.
fair.
So
Sure. I hope you have somebody, if you ever were to die unexpectedly, that's going to erase your internet history and or close your social media profiles.
I'll
You make
It'll
those
be you.
arrangements.
It'll
Okay,
be
great.
you,
Producer
Jackie.
I'll do it.
Justin.
I will. Yeah, I will
Producer
do it.
Justin is gonna.
I will do it. My brother asked me
and
to
if
do
you
it for
see
him.
anything, just mind your business.
So, yeah. And my brother was like,
Right.
"You'll have to do this for me," and I said,
Yep,
"Sure,
yep,
just give me your
yep.
passwords."
Yeah.
Yep.
I have to do that.
Would you rather have your entire lifetime of experiences converted into a movie that you can watch whenever you want to remember them, or your life turned into a book that can be read and interpreted by anyone?
A book. I don't want that. I don't know. I don't know that I don't want the movie.
Yeah.
Well, the movie's just for you. The book, anyone gets to read.
Do I play me in the movie? Or does there do I get to pick who plays me in the movie?
I'm picturing like the movie is literally just your life, but you're watching.
I'm thinking it's like home videos.
It's like home videos.
Ooh,
and
I want
stuff.
that. Yeah, I want that.
I want a book.
I think I would want a book. I want
I
people
w-
to read
yeah.
about my fucked up life. And...
But then
I
people
just-
know the rotten things you've searched for.
oh, that's true.
and-
I'm gonna go to the movie. I changed my mind.
I think I would just want the book. I feel like
Good
because
catch.
I don't know. Books are so good in that way though, like I don't know, it means something different to everybody. I don't know. Like
Well,
I just think
that's
that would be
right.
cool.
But then it would be written what you think is like, oh, people will think I'm cool, and then maybe they don't.
Sure,
Maybe
I don't
they think
care.
I'm terrible.
That was lame.
I would
Jack
I would
Lane.
rather be able to reread my life story than to watch it. I don't know. I wouldn't want to see awkward me ever again.
I know, but I'd rather
Pink and Black Stars forever.
Right.
Pink and Black Stars. Would you rather the aliens that make first contact be robotic or organic?
What?
I don't know that I understand that.
Yeah.
So, like-
organic meaning like
Like real,
Oh.
like
Organic.
us. Organic, like us, or would you rather them be robots?
no, organic. I could not do a robot. I cannot do the AI.
Same.
I think I would have to get because
The AI would just freak me out too much.
too smart.
Yeah.
Would you rather know the history of every object you touched or be
Oh.
able to talk to animals?
Talk to animals.
I mean, I don't like to touch messy things, but
I think you can still
I,
choose.
all I can picture is going to a hotel room and you accidentally touch the bed and you're like,
That
I'm
is a
leaving
good.
now.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, you walk in and you go, oh nope, go in another room.
that or like
Yes.
you find a nice house and you're like, this is a beautiful house, touch the wall and like 55,000 people have been murdered there.
Yeah.
No, I could not.
That's
deal
fair.
with
Yeah,
that.
I would want to talk to animals.
I want to talk to my dogs.
I think I would still do the object touching. I think I would like to do that.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cursed.
Because then you could solve the crimes.
That's
at that
true.
point,
I
too.
guess if you think about it that way, it
Yeah.
may be
I
helpful.
know the pandemic and working in a hospital pre-pandemic has made me go, things are dirty and germy.
That's true.
Like, don't touch that. Or who don't know who's touched it and what
Right.
they've touched, and then it spirals.
Sure.
So like, I would want to find out if like the dogs think that we're really cool and funny, or they just
Oh.
are nosy hoes or something.
Right.
Like,
Nosy hoes.
Nosy hoes. Nosy hose, yeah.
And last but not least, would you rather never age physically or
Oh.
never age mentally?
Never age mentally.
mentally.
Yeah, I think so too.
I could care less.
This
about the
body
physical
doesn't do
part.
much anyway.
Yeah,
so.
it's useless to me right now.
Right.
It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, you forget how to eat or talk or
Well, you just gotta think.
swallow.
You just gotta think
breathe.
about like like Alzheimer's and like dementia. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I just wouldn't want to
that'd be
not
scary.
know. I'd rather have my brain than my body.
Same.
I agree.
That's how I live my life.
Hashtag New Year, New
Right,
Me.
right.
Hashtag right. New Year, same me.
Yeah. Love it. My resolution.
Well, we're so glad you joined us,
Yes,
EK.
thank
Any
you.
parting words for our viewers, for our listeners that you would like to
Well,
share?
yeah, keep on keeping on.
Yeah.
Just, keep
It's
swimming.
very you.
That is very me. Yeah.
You do
Just
you, Bill.
chilling.
That's
Just
you, do
chilling,
you?
having a good time.
Like, I mean, it's your world. I'm just here.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
Just living in it.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you for joining
Yes.
us.
We appreciate
Yeah.
you
And thank you, dear listener, for
listening.
continuing to listen to us.
Yeah.
We hope.
Yeah.
And we'll catch you on the flip side.
Catch you on the flippity flip.
In
It's
the
an
mean-
office quote.
Oh my God. This damn office recap show we have.
Hey,
Oh
listen.
my God.
Oh my God.
Sorry
There's too
I
many of
annoyed
those.
you with my friendship.
Yeah. Another office quote.
On that note,
I don't know how anybody has so little self-awareness.
Fact.
As he's hiding behind the door.
False.
Yeah.
The shunning has begun.
The shunning.
oh my God. Stay tired.
Bears.
Betty.